What's going on, everybody? It is Joe. Welcome to the channel. GameStop just had a massive announcement when it comes to Bitcoin. We're going to go over that today. I'm going to ask Grok to give me its thoughts on this announcement, what could happen, give me a few different price predictions, break it down, and if you're a Bitcoin holder, I think you're going to want to hear it. So stay tuned until the end of the video. We're going to go over some other positive crypto news before then, so stay in through the end of the video. Hit that like button if you like the content, subscribe if you want to see more, comment below and give me your thoughts. And with that being said, let's dive straight into this news and see what is to come. So Bitcoin, for the most part, in the last day, all of crypto's down a couple of percent for the most part. 1%, 3%, 3%, 2%, 5.5%. So everything's taken a little bit of a dip despite this good news. I'm not alarmed. I'm not too worried about that. So just staying positive. There's so much bullish news in the media right now when it comes to Bitcoin. There's so much bullish news from the government, from Donald Trump, from all these corporations, institutions. So I'm staying very positive and trusting the long-term aspect, expanding my viewpoint, not getting caught up in the, oh, crypto's red today, should we panic? No. There's so much positive news that I am staying interested and being bullish about. So just wanted to say that before we dive in. So getting into that news, we have World Liberty Financial is launching a stablecoin on BNB chain and Ethereum. That's big. We went over that the other day, but that's going to be huge. A stablecoin announcement with Trump's company, World Liberty Financial. GameStop has announced that it will convert a part of its $4.7 billion cash into Bitcoin. That's the big news of the day. We're going to go over that at the end more in detail, but that is massive for Bitcoin, or at least has the potential to be. Fidelity is also planning to launch a stablecoin, kind of like World Liberty Financial. We already saw Ripple do that. We have USDC, USDT already. And then USD1 was World Liberty Financial's, and now we're going to have Fidelity launching a stablecoin as well. And then BlackRock is expanding its money market fund to Solana. Fidelity has filed the Solana Spot ETF. Ripple XRP has agreed to drop its cross appeal and pay a $50 million fine. All these things have happened in just 24 hours, and you're still bullish, question mark? That's like kind of what I was just alluding to earlier on. There's so much good news going on to have people feeling bullish, so don't be alarmed when you see the prices drop a little bit. I'm still very encouraged. I think we're setting the stage for something massive here coming up, so wanted to go over that. And then breaking that down a little bit more in case you missed the bullish news, that's pumping Bitcoin. This was yesterday. President Trump signed an executive order to let the U.S. Treasury modernize payments and cut fraud, waste, and abuse. I think this is actually going to be pretty good for XRP, potentially some other coins, basically for crypto in general. But that was nice to see. GameStop included Bitcoin as a Treasury reserve asset in its investment policy update. BlackRock just bought $42 million worth of Bitcoin. Michael Saylor told the Robinhood founder to buy Bitcoin. Major companies and institutions keep on accumulating more Bitcoin, only a matter of time before we see new Bitcoin all-time highs being made. I'm very bullish. News after news after news just keeps coming out, so I wanted to touch on some of those things for you guys. So getting into the Fidelity announcement, $6 trillion asset manager Fidelity to launch crypto stablecoin. That was announced today. That is massive. Fidelity is one of the largest asset managers in the world, manages trillions of dollars, and they're looking into, I believe they're already testing their own stablecoin, seeing what that would look like, seeing what they're capable of with that. And so if they can pull that off, that's going to be massive for crypto in general. And Bitcoin, when crypto does well, Bitcoin's just that leader, and we're going to see Bitcoin do extremely well, I believe, off of this news. Now getting into GameStop. An announcement regarding Bitcoin. GameStop announces update to its investment policy to add Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. GameStop today announced that its board has unanimously approved an update to its investment policy to add Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. This is big news, and we're going to go over that in a little more detail here in a second. Michael Saylor, welcome to Team Bitcoin, Ryan Cohen. He's the CEO of GameStop, and so seeing Michael Saylor say that to him, they had that picture taken. They've already talked a lot about this. So when Michael Saylor's company, MicroStrategy, called Strategy now, first started this strategy, they started with approximately $250 million of cash, I believe, on hand when they started the leveraging debt and all of this sort of thing to be able to make all of this happen. I believe they now hold close to 2% of the circulating supply of Bitcoin, which is just an unbelievable amount. GameStop has $4.75 billion in cash on hand. That is an absurd amount. They have such a big advantage. They can buy so much Bitcoin with that, and if they do the same strategy that Michael Saylor did with Strategy, the sky is really the limit. So, that being said, I asked Grok to come up with a few different scenarios and how it could potentially impact the price of Bitcoin and what it would mean for Bitcoin, what it would mean for GameStop, and I wanted them to break it down, and I wanted to show you guys those numbers because I think you guys are going to be excited about it. So, we have GameStop's announcement on March 25 to explore adding Bitcoin to its balance sheet with $4.75 billion in cash on hand could indeed echo MicroStrategy's aggressive Bitcoin accumulation strategy. MicroStrategy has accumulated over 500,000 Bitcoin since 2020, leveraging cash, debt, and equity to become the largest corporate holder, controlling over 2% of Bitcoin's 21 million total supply. If GameStop follows a similar playbook and deploys its cash reserves, or even amplifies its buying power with debt or equity and issuances, it could trigger significant market dynamics, including a supply shock. Here's how this might play out under 3 increasingly optimistic scenarios: bullish, very bullish, and extremely bullish. So the bullish prediction for GameStop and what could happen if GameStop allocates 25% of its cash, $1.18 billion, to Bitcoin over the next 12 months, buying at an average price of $90,000. This nets them approximately 13,000 Bitcoin, or 0.06 of Bitcoin's total supply. What this would mean, they could see this push Bitcoin's price up by 15 to 25%, and the price target would be 101 to 110,000 within the 6 to 12 months, just based off of GameStop's activity. This reflects a solid but not explosive rally driven by steady demand growth and GameStop signaling Bitcoin's legitimacy to a new audience. So just by GameStop doing this, they could see it go up by 15 to 25% by them allocating 25% of its cash on hand because of the supply shock it could potentially create. Very bullish prediction. So GameStop goes bigger, deploying 50% of its cash and raises an additional $1 billion via debt or equity, totaling $3.375 billion. At 90,000 per Bitcoin, they would acquire 37,000 Bitcoin in a rapid 6-month buying spree. What would happen here? They could see it driving the price up 50 to 75%. That is a pretty good percentage increase, and that would only have GameStop buying allocating 50% of its cash on hand to Bitcoin. Price target with this scenario, 132,000 to 154,000 within 6 to 9 months. This scenario assumes GameStop's actions catalyze broader adoption without drastically altering Bitcoin's long-term scarcity narrative. I don't know about you guys, but for them to put in 50% of its cash, kind of follow MicroStrategy's strategy, and for Bitcoin to go from roughly 90,000 to 132 to 154,000 because of it, I would sign up for that. I would like that a lot. I would be all about that. And I feel like that's very realistic. I think GameStop is going to do something crazy. We have seen GameStop do crazy things in the past. And I think I would not put it past GameStop to look into doing something like this. Now, going into the extremely bullish prediction, we will see if this happens. GameStop would have to go all in to make this happen. GameStop goes all in, deploying its full $4.75 billion cash pile and leveraging debt equity to raise another $4 billion, totaling $8.75 billion. At 90,000 Bitcoin, they would scoop up 97,000 Bitcoin in a relentless 3 to 6 month campaign, rivaling MicroStrategy's scale. Impact on price: 150 to 200% surge isn't unthinkable, pushing Bitcoin into uncharted territory. Target for this, price target, 220,000 to 264,000 within 6 to 12 months, you guys. That is saying by spring of next year, we could, just from GameStop doing the MicroStrategy strategy, creating that supply shock, we could see a price of $220,000 to $264,000 within 6 to 12 months. This would assume a perfect storm of supply scarcity, corporate FOMO, and speculative mania, potentially testing Bitcoin's $100,000 resistance as a new floor. So corporate FOMO, if GameStop does this, I feel like we'd see a lot of other corporations be like, hey, we got to do this now. We got to catch up. We can't get left behind. We would see governments do the same thing. We would see countries potentially do the same thing. We would see like an arms race for Bitcoin. I feel like if GameStop went all in like this, if they put $4.75 billion of cash into it, leveraging debt equity to raise another $4 billion, we would see like an unheard of, well, actually strategy's already done it, but it would just be insane to think about what could result if this were to happen. And honestly, I would not be all that surprised if it did happen. Broader implications. In all scenarios, GameStop's adoption could legitimize Bitcoin as a treasury asset beyond MicroStrategy's niche, drawing in more corporate and creating a self-reinforcing cycle. However, risks like Bitcoin's volatility, noted in GameStop's filing, regulatory pushback, or a broader market downturn could temper those outcomes. The supply shock's intensity depends on how much GameStop buys, how fast, and whether others join the party. MicroStrategy's success suggests GameStop's stock could also soar, adding fuel to the Bitcoin fire. These predictions lean on historical patterns, current market conditions, and GameStop's unique position, but Bitcoin's price is notoriously unpredictable, so these are speculative ceilings, not guarantees. Very curious to hear your guys' thoughts on all of this. Which one of these do you think is most likely? Do you think it's possible that if GameStop does all of this, that we could see the $220,000 to $264,000 Bitcoin? Do you think it would be largely in part just due to GameStop? Do you think there's going to have to be other factors involved? I'm curious your thoughts. Please give them below. All I know is these predictions by Grok have me feeling very, very bullish. I'm going to want to get in on it. This is not financial advice, but I think big things are coming. I'm not going to put it past GameStop, Ryan Cohen, to do some of these things, to follow Michael Saylor's strategy with Bitcoin, with accumulating Bitcoin, with that cash on hand, and I think big things are coming. So give me your thoughts below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button if you want to hear more content. Hit that like button if you like those projections, and I will talk to you guys in the next one.